Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. So what's going on with the price of silver? Where are these prices headed? Will it ever become worthless? We see prices dropping even lower, almost to the $11 range right now. It's down 4.79% on the day to $12.12, and it's looking like it might go even lower compared to gold that still has a lot of volatility, only down 2.7%. So the gold to silver ratio is sitting at its highest it's ever been at 123 to 1, meaning it takes 123 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. But the gold to silver ratio coming out of the ground is only 8 to 1. So why is this ratio so exaggerated? It means that gold is outperforming silver. Now this video might be a little longer. I have a lot of different stuff I want to talk about. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. So silver plunges to 11-year lows. Is it a buy at these levels? Should you buy right now? Should you get in these early positions, these very low positions, to lower your dollar per ounce average, buy a lot of silver for as cheap as possible? It is interesting because there's still premiums on American Eagles right now, still around the $22, $23 range. So that might be frustrating for a lot of silver stackers trying to get that spot price silver, what they can't. And they have these premiums almost like pandas and kookaburras do. And that's just because of the shortage that's happening, and it's definitely showing where silver shortages can take us and the consequences that fall when we aren't producing silver. So it's been a wild couple of weeks for the financial markets, and the silver SLV bulls certainly haven't had a week worth writing home about. While many of the investors likely thought they had the perfect sanctuary from the storm based on the metal's supposed safe haven status, that sanctuary just saw a hurricane tear through it. The metal dropped by nearly 15% to start the week and is now down almost 30% year to date. And this was finally the destruction that we needed to send the small speculators running for the hills. In the past 10 trading days alone, small speculators have nearly halved their long positions in the metal, and we've finally seen sentiment get beaten up to a pulp as well. Unfortunately, while this would typically be a buying opportunity, we've also seen multi-year lows for silver and tons of technical damage pile up. Based on this, I continue to favor gold and am avoiding silver for the time being. So, not saying that silver is a bad investment, because that's definitely not true. It's just right now gold is still outperforming silver, so gold technically, if we want to get technical, would be the better buy because gold is outperforming silver. But if you're looking at the bigger picture and you understand silver's true potential, then you would be in return looking at silver, a perfect opportunity for silver since it's so cheap. You know, it's just like going to the store. If you see something on sale, or when it's a discount, it makes you want to, you're happy because you get something for cheaper. Same thing going for silver right now. Since it's on sale, since there's a discounted price for it, you should be happy. You should be taking advantage of it, not freaking out and panicking. So anyways, if we look at the above chart, for small speculator positioning, we can see that we saw a plunge in long contracts from the late February peak from 77,900 contracts down to 44,900 contracts. A drop of more than 40%. This is a significant improvement, as it suggests we finally have some of the die-hard bulls throwing in the towel on this long trade. As the saying goes, when everyone is already bullish, there is no one left to buy. While this drop to 44,900 contracts is undoubtedly a positive sign, we now have silver trading at 1-year lows, but long exposure remains well above May levels. Therefore, while this is an improvement, it would be ideal to see the long exposure drop closer or into negative territory to suggest that we have a complete capitulation here. Thus far, while this is a significant improvement, we haven't seen the silver bulls slaughtered yet, and this often needed to complete a sustainable bottom. Moving over to the sentiment, we've also made some progress, with the bullish sentiment plunging just to over 7% on Monday's close. This is a massive improvement from just 2 weeks ago when we somehow had an even divide between bulls and bears despite being more than 10% off the August highs. So while drops to the 20% or lower level on sentiment can put the odds in the bulls' favor for a rally, they do not guarantee the lows are in for silver, so it might go lower. We don't know yet. Therefore, this is a giant step in the right direction. We could still see lower levels in silver if the sentiment has already completed most of its decline. Ideally, I would like to see sentiment head below 5% or lower, given that this is where we're seeing in other markets currently with similar size declines. So, a lot of interesting stuff going on right here. You can see these charts. It could go even lower. So, finally, from a technical basis, we have a clear issue. And that's the fact that silver has broken down from a multi-year base, while the GLD, or gold, broke out from multi-year base and held its breakout. See, gold held its bottom. This is a massive negative divergence from the metal and suggests there's little reason for owning it over gold. But that's their main point. But there still is the bigger picture with silver, which I could talk about. I might talk about it later in the video. So while silver could ultimately bottom out after a 30% decline in just 2 months, the fact is the underperforming gold so massively suggests these are just two detached trades. So they're saying that these markets are apart from each other indefinitely. I definitely still think silver is gold's little brother, and they still do have a lot of wiggle room to say that. But anyways, therefore, owning silver to piggy bank on gold's strength is nonsensical. Based on this, while we've seen sentiment improve significantly, I don't see any reason to be trying to find a low in silver here. The first sign for silver bulls might be trying to recover from this technical mess would be a look at $13.80 an ounce support. However, I would expect the $16 an ounce, $16.60 level for silver to be a brick wall of resistance going forward to put a damper on the reward risk for the trade. So while I remain long in gold, I have no position for silver here. So this was more of a negative type of article, but I still did see a lot of benefits from sharing it, and I definitely think that everyone has their own perspective. Us silver stackers, we're very bullish on silver for the 10, 15, 20-year line. Right now, of course, silver is underperforming gold. That's why the gold to silver ratio is so high. That's a given. That's an obvious given statement. Anyone can say that. Anyone can see that. You know, technically, yes, that's true. But we see silver for the demand not meeting the supply, or supply not meeting the demand, and with silver being such a productive metal in society, in the economy, especially looking into the technological era we're advancing in, needing more and more of it. So asset repricing, and by the way, the link to all these articles will be in the description. So asset repricing is in full swing as uncertainty pushes treasuries higher and stocks lower. In this environment, while precious metals are getting crushed, it is not the type of uncertainty that bodes well for metals. Yet there's an interesting situation playing out in the silver market, as spot price of the poor man's gold has fallen 34% since topping out at $18.99 an ounce on February 24th. Currently trading around $12.12 as I write this, or as I speak this. That's an 11-year low that occurred during the 2008-2009 market meltdown, the credit crisis, the credit crash. Seems like it could be an interesting entry point, especially if you believe that the correction in spot price has gone too far to the downside. So saying that, you know, the gold to silver ratio is too high, it's too exaggerated, and we're going to see, you know, a price correction. So you could get in right now, but a lot of people are saying it could go lower. However, if it's physical silver you wish to purchase, good luck finding it anywhere near spot price. And that's what I was talking about earlier in this video. You can't really find silver for that cheap right now. Maybe your local coin shop, he might give you around that price, but he's probably sold out himself. At 2 renowned precious metals dealers I surveyed this morning, physical silver is selling out massive premiums to the spot price. And you're having to wait 10, 15 day waiting period to even get your silver shipped out. The U.S. Mint sold out of silver. People are running out of silver. So what is known as junk silver, primarily 90% pure silver coins minted from the U.S. prior to 1965 with no numismatic value, can be held for about $20.62 an ounce. So that's pretty close. $1,475 for a $100 face value would contain 71 ounces of silver. That's a premium of nearly $8, or a whopping 63% above silver's current spot price. 1 ounce of silver American Eagle coins have even higher spreads to the spot price, and lower quantities can be $12 an ounce at 95% premium to spot. So business is brisk, and inventories are low or empty. As consumers clamor for physical metal they can hold in their hand, I've never seen premiums this high, which is an indicator of the fear that is so prevalent. Silver is especially popular because it can be purchased in very small increments. In the doomsday scenario, SHTF survivalist stackers, silver quarters, dimes, half dollars, silver dollars, even nickels, which contain 35% silver, are small enough that they could be exchanged for smaller goods. That's trading and bartering. That is one of the draws here, but the disconnect between spot price and physical silver is astounding. It is definitely very interesting. It's very scary to see that. Now, he's also going to talk about the SOV, which is there's other ways to get silver, but we know that if you can't hold it, you don't own it. And that's definitely the saying of the stackers. So, I definitely think that silver has opportunity. I still think that premiums will, once this COVID-19 stuff blows over, premiums will, normalize. They will correct back down to lower levels. So silver sank to its lowest level since 2009 this week, another victim of the market-wide sell-off triggered by the COVID-19 crisis. In the past month alone, spot silver has fallen by more than 30%, following the downward lead of other precious metals such as gold and palladium. Although by mid-morning trading it stands up to 12 cents per ounce, $12.41 per ounce. So the price of silver on certain exchanges around the world has fluctuated wildly in recent days. The Shanghai Gold Exchange, for example, has imposed a one-day trading halt on its silver contract following such fluctuations. Its margin trading on the same silver contract fell by 13% in the Tuesday trading. So right now, silver is the sell is $11.93 and the buy is $11.96. You can just see it still declining downwards. With the novel coronavirus outbreak bringing some Asian, European, and now North American nations into effective lockdowns, the global economy has suffered its worst shock since global financial crisis of 2008, which I said earlier, which was the credit crisis. In order to counter an economic impact of the virus, many central banks have undertaken emergency interest rate cuts, most notably the Federal Reserve, which reduces rate cuts by 0 to 0.25%. So, precious metals, particularly gold, but to some extent silver also, are traditionally safe haven at times of economic crisis, and their ability to store value. And that's because the intrinsic value that's inside these coins, inside these, gold and silver, it's used as a safe haven asset in times of economic turmoil. Interest rates are normally trigger increases interest in the commodities as they reduce the opportunity of cost on holding yield metals. So in the past fortnight, however, it would appear that investors have not flocked to the safe haven metals, preferring the U.S. Treasuries, the Japan yen, and the Swiss franc instead. While the liquid nature of the precious metal often attracts investors, it's this very liquidity. There's very high liquidity and has contributed to silver's recent plunge. If financial institutions seek to cover losses incurred elsewhere in the market, they sell their silver and gold holdings before a marginal call. So, it's just explaining what's going on and where these prices really could be heading. And if you think that silver still has some room to go lower, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Right now silver's sitting at, $12.12, actually lower. It's at $11.96, meaning the gold to silver ratio is 123 to 1, up 2.09% or up 2.58 points on the day, the highest it's ever been ever. So just to recap, we have silver at 11-year lows. It could be a better opportunity to be buying gold right now, but sooner than later, the ratio has to correct back down to somewhat normal levels. Historically, the ratio's a normal level is around 55 to 1. It comes out of the ground roughly 8 to 1. We're seeing levels right now at 123 to 1. So that's extremely, extremely high. It's the highest it's ever been. Previously, the highest it's ever been was 100 to 1, which was a couple years ago. I remember that. But now we're seeing something totally off the grid, totally just crazy. So with that said, do you think that you're going to be buying gold or buying silver right now? And if you are holding or whatever you're doing, what is your strategy? There's a lot of different angles you can take into this silver or the gold market right now, the precious metals market in general, even going to the ETF side of things. Whatever the case is, what is your strategy? Are you buying, selling, holding, or trading? And what are you going to do with it? Where do you see your exit strategy? Where do you see your time frames, your buying time frames, selling time frames? Where do you see all this heading into the future? Is the unknown variable, is the 2020 presidential election going to be determining whether you stack accordingly or what? I'm curious to hear this because there is so many different angles, there's so many different positions we can get into this. It really does, it could drive someone crazy just trying to, because especially if you're indecisive, because there's so many different angles you can take. I'm just trying to bring this into the light. Now, just going back to reflect a little bit more, there is interesting situations playing out in the silver market. Silver usually does perform with gold, but right now, these two metals are breaking apart, and we're seeing two different things happen completely. Usually when gold is rising, silver rises a couple days, a couple weeks afterwards. Right now, gold is standing pretty much still, But silver is dropping like a loose cannon. And why is that? Is it because people are seeing gold outperform, so they're buying more gold and selling their silver, trading their silver for gold, hence the gold to silver ratio to their advantage, which you can do to earn free silver, free gold? Or are they simply just going towards gold, especially from stock market volatility, not seeing much potential in the gold markets or in the silver markets? I'm interested to hear what you think about this, because it really does. There's so many different angles, there's so many different factors. It really can depend upon the individual. But anyways, thanks for tuning into this video. The link to all these articles will be in the description if you want to check them out yourself. Sorry this was a longer video, but there's a lot I wanted to cover and a lot I wanted to talk about. So anyways, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Also, check out the video I posted earlier today. Go check that video out. I know you're going to dig it. It's definitely a good video talking more about all this stuff, but also if silver could ever become worthless and where that sits into the economy as well. Very interesting stuff. So anyways, thanks for tuning into this video. Make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe for new, because I do post daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.